name's Logan. I'm another one of Bob's many, many grandchildren, and been asked to read from an article tonight that was from the Oregon Echo, October 1979, about my grandma and grandpa. It's entitled "Barriers Fell and Love Grew," a love story by Sidney Smith, pastor of Conservative Baptist in Winchester Bay. Bob Cantrell resigned. It was just a casual remark, but I felt as if I had walked into a brick wall. For 15 years, Bob had pastored the Reedsport Church of God. I had known him for 12 of those years, and it seemed as though he would go on forever. I started to think. I remember the first time I met Bob. I was the new pastor in town, attending an abysmally dull ministerial association meeting. A cloud of inertia hung over the room until an excited type of character walked in, bubbling over with jokes and insisting on shaking everyone's hand. Bob had arrived, and the atmosphere changed. As I got to know Bob, I discovered that he had a personal impact on many areas. Bob was in our ministerial association. Bob struggled to create a sense of unity in our ministerial association. While there were voices of disagreement, Bob represented the voice of balance and conciliation. One of Bob's theme songs was the need for Christians from all denominations to get together. Bob was the major force behind our Union Church services, as well as cooperation between our churches. He had the vision to see that if Christians from different backgrounds could spend time together, barriers would fall and love would grow. That vision led Bob to start an interdenominational youth breakfast. The idea was to give kids a free meal and a short inspirational message at the end of breakfast. The rest of the churches got behind it, and teenagers filled the Church of God basement every Tuesday morning. It proved to be highly successful. One area that Bob excelled in was community leadership. He wanted his church to be a positive force of influence in Reedsport, and the way to achieve that goal was to get involved. Through the years he worked with service organizations, he became president of the Rotary Club, served as city councilman. He was so well liked that he could have been mayor if he'd wanted the position. And the average unchurched person of Reedsport thought Bob as their pastor. Jerome Carnegie, station manager of KDUN Radio, summed up Bob's effectiveness by saying, "He was more visible in the community than any pastor I can remember. He was not only accepted, but was influential. People admired Bob, not just in the church, but in the community." But what was Bob like in his church? Let me give you a significant fact. Just before Bob arrived in the Reedsport Church of God, the church was known as just another small church. Presently, the church enjoys a reputation of being an outstanding church in Reedsport. Outstanding because of the amount of people that have been won to Christ. Several years ago, I asked Bob why he felt so many people were accepting Christ. He said, "It's not because of me. I don't have any special program, and I'm not doing anything great. I just feel that the Lord is doing a great work, and I'm very happy to be in it." Bob's number one priority was the importance of love. He stressed the love of God so much that a frustrated lady once complained, "Love, love, love, that's all they talk about around here. Why don't they talk about something else?" I think Bob would ask, what else is there to talk about? Bob also emphasized a meaningful relationship with Christ. Knowing Christ was the way to experience joy, love, and peace. Through Christ, each person could develop his full potential. His preaching had a strange unifying effect on people. He had the ability to draw people from varied backgrounds and into a cohesive group without compromising the gospel. One lifelong Episcopalian said, "The reason why I listen to this pastor is that I feel his love for people." You know that the Holy Spirit is working. Coupled with warmth is the passion to give. I've seen Bob pumping gas, cooking a meal, busing kids, working on a construction project, just to help another person. Glenn McDonald, the state highway game officer, related this incident. "Before I was a Christian, Bob came over to help me paint the house, even though I didn't go to his church. As a result, when I did, Bob was the pastor I came to for advice." Bob is known as a caring person. He has a reputation for being there when his people need him. Like the time Kenneth Van Tassel had a heart attack. When he was carried into the hospital at 2 a.m., Bob was there waiting for him. Or the time Bob and Bonnie went on vacation and yet kept checking back with the hospital to see how the patient was doing. Enthusiasm is a quality about Bob that amazes people. Every year, Reedsport has a United Easter Sunrise service that is held at 6:30 a.m. at the football field. At that hour, everyone, including the ministers, come dragging in trying to wake up, except for one person. Bob is running around, shaking hands, laughing, almost jumping up and down like a small kid getting ready to open his Christmas presents. It isn't long before others have the same enthusiasm. Bob is a kaleidoscope of many things: a World War II bomber pilot, businessman, civic leader, jogger, cook, carpenter, supercharged vocalist, pastor, father, and husband of an exceptional woman. That woman is Bonnie. Every year our church puts on a music festival in Winchester Bay. This year Bob was master of ceremonies and Bonnie was involved in part of the music. As the program got underway, I thought of all the other rich experiences I have shared with them. I realized that this one would be near the last. I thought of the contributions they have made to my life. But their most striking influence is that they are living examples of what they preach. They talk about love, and they are love. Seeing the warmth in flesh and blood that has been a source of inspiration. The way I learn about love is not by reading about it or talking about it, but seeing love in action. Bob and Bonnie wrote their sermons on rock instead of sand. That is why I have to say something about their lives. They were more than exceptional people. They were an expression of God's love.